Alright, let me clear this up. I'm not saying I'm scared of haunted house movies. It's not that. I'm just saying when I watch haunted house movies, I get scared. Alright, welcome to Tate's Take. If you're new here, I do spoiler-free movie and TV reviews. Give you a little background, basically let you know if I think it's worth checking out or not. If that's something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular Tate's Takers, let's see if this one is scary good. Get it? Because it's like a horror? Ugh, never mind. His House is a new movie by Regency and BBC. It debuted this year at Sundance and was purchased by Netflix before the film festival even started. It was written and directed by Remy Weeks, who's a British director making his film debut. He previously directed a South by Southwest short film called Tickle Monster, which is also a horror. And coming from someone who may or may not still be ticklish, I can't think of anything that's scarier. Anyway, Remy took a story by Felicity Evans and Toby Venables and transformed it into this screenplay. His House stars Wunmi Mosaku, who we all now know from Killing on Lovecraft Country. But what I didn't know is that she was Nigerian and was raised in England. I swear, the Black Brits are killing the game. Are there any non-British Black actors anymore? Is Michael B. Jordan the only one? Don't answer that. Anyway, it also stars Sope Dirisu, who is also Nigerian, but you guessed it, born and raised in England. He had previous roles on Criminal, Sandcastle, and The Huntsman Went to War. And by the way, I'm not hating on Black British actors. I think it's cool. Plus, this is not an American movie. It's fine. All right, plot time. His House tells the story of a married couple, Bol and Rial, who have fled the war-torn country of South Sudan and made it to England. The journey wasn't easy though, because they had to travel on a small boat full of refugees, and a lot of them didn't make it, including their young daughter. When they get to England, they're received as asylum seekers, not as citizens, so the accommodations are less than stellar.
It's a palace.
This entire house is just for us.
It's gonna be nice, you're gonna be happy. As long as you can get along, fit in, be one of the good ones.
The place is a dump. They're not allowed to have guests over, even though I don't know who you think is gonna even want to, never mind. They get a small weekly allowance, and they're not even allowed to get jobs to make money on top of that. Savage. Their first night in the house, and they start to see and hear things in the dark. So, you already know. They quickly decide that the house is haunted by a witch.
I saw something in the dark. You have felt it too.
Ugh. Anyway, obviously they can't go back and tell this dude like, hey bro, the house you gave us is low-key haunted. We need a new one. And they definitely can't go back to South Sudan where they risked their lives trying to escape from in the first damn place. So what do? And now we got a movie. So what's my take? First of all, let me just say that I am not the horror movie dude. I don't know why people love feeling this way watching a movie. Wouldn't y'all rather just watch cartoons? Anyway, that said, I wasn't gonna cheat y'all on the experience. So I ate my Wheaties, waited till about 10 p.m., and I turned the lights off before I hit play on this thing. So, you're welcome. This is one of the best movies I've ever seen. As simple as that. Again, of course this is a spoiler-free review, so I'm gonna give some general thoughts on what I liked about the film. First and foremost, the two leads are perfect. Obviously we're seeing a lot more of Wunmi now because of Lovecraft, but she was already an award-winning actress. Her and Sope both need all the credit for their work here. They both play their roles so well, showing what it's like to be a refugee in a new country, trying to fit in when they know they really don't. And above all that, how they acted out the pure fear they felt when they realized the house was haunted. I hope they get some award love for this because they deserve it. Second, the movie is actually scary. And I like to think that it's not just because I'm a wimp. I tried to go to sleep after, and I was definitely hearing things in the walls. See? Why can't I just watch cartoons? The most important positive about this movie is the relevant social commentary that it makes. This is not your ordinary haunted house movie. Usually in a haunted house movie, some rich white people get a big ass house, find out that it's haunted, and the husband doesn't want to move because he got a good deal on it. Now we get to see a movie that really challenges that narrative, like, okay, what do you do when you really have no choice but to stay? It touches on some very real issues, not only shining some light on the genocide-like conditions of South Sudan, but also how England is one of the worst European countries for asylum seekers. But Tate, what the hell is going on in South Sudan? All right, I'll make it quick. Sudan was once one big-ass country where the North had beef with the South. What were they fighting over, you ask? Religion, duh. The North was mostly Muslim, and the South was traditionally Christian. Apparently, all the powerful positions in government were given to Northerners. Of course, the government was corrupt, surprise, surprise, and they kept all the country's resources for themselves and let the Sudanese people suffer. That's messed up. So, naturally, that started a civil war, and that lasted over 50 years until South Sudan was able to vote to govern themselves in 2011, becoming the world's newest country. Welcome to the world, South Sudan. Let's turn up. Unfortunately, that party was short-lived, because in 2013, a civil war broke out in South Sudan because the two largest groups had beef. Now, these two groups had beef for years, but when they were fighting for their independence from the north, the beef was quiet. But when they left, they was fighting again. The total number of South Sudanese refugees has now passed 2 million. It's the largest refugee crisis in Africa and the third largest in the world behind Syria and Afghanistan. Sadly, over 63% of South Sudanese refugees are children. Yeah, that's crazy, right? Now what the hell's going on in the UK? Okay, fine. There was a study done a few years ago among the most popular countries in Europe as it relates to granting asylum. The study showed that not only did the United Kingdom take fewer refugees, they're providing housing that's usually substandard, they're giving less financial resources, and they don't give you the right to work. Just like the movie. While people are waiting to hear if they've been granted asylum in the UK, they're provided these trash accommodations and about £36 a week. That's about $45 to cover all their food, clothing, transportation, and like whatever else you need to buy. In France, for example, they get double that. Okay, France? The point is, it's a lot of messed up stuff that goes on in the world. So the next time you're about to complain that Chipotle put beans in your burrito bowl and you specifically wrote no beans, just relax. And when you're watching this movie, just understand that this is highlighting a real issue in the world. There's even times in the movie where you'll see Rial doesn't seem so concerned with the horror of the witch in the house because of all the horror she's already seen in her real life. It's heavy. Is it the haunted house that's the scary part of this story? Or is it the realization that so many people live their life in constant fear just because of the country they were born in? I'm gonna give His House 5 stars. This is one of the best movies I've reviewed in 2020, possibly ever. Very impressive to see Remy Weeks push the genre forward by including real-world issues. There's countless haunted house stories, but I've never seen one like this. Very powerful to see a movie about leaving a country where you could be killed at any moment to being in a new country that doesn't want you either. Where do you go? Usually people at least have their home to feel safe. When that goes, then what? The director does a good job of keeping your attention for the whole ride and tells a story that has several layers to get through. If you like horror movies, this is the time of year for them, and this one is great. If you don't like horror movies, well, neither do I, and I'm telling you to watch this one. Also, I watched it alone, so if you guys can partner up for safety, it's not a bad idea. His House is out in select theaters and available to stream on Netflix starting on October 30th. In the description below, I have a few different links with information on how we can help the people of South Sudan. As it stands today, South Sudan is one of only 4 countries in the world facing famine. If you can donate, that's great, but it's not all financial. There's a bunch of different petitions that we can sign as well. Every little bit helps. As always, thanks for checking out Tate's Take. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, let me know if you're planning on checking out this movie, or if you're too scared. Thanks for the time, y'all. Peace.